Hello. At the end of our Parashat Korach, we have a special mitzvah, HaMa'aser min HaMa'aser. The Leviim receive a tenth of the produce from Am Yisrael, and they give, again, a tenth of that to the Kohen, which is very surprising. If you want to give the Kohen more produce, so the Israel should just give to the Kohen. Why does it have to go through the channel of the Levi? There are different answers given to this question. One of them by Sefer HaChinuch. Sefer HaChinuch explains that there's a danger by the fact that the Leviim receive the Masrot from Am Yisrael. The Leviim can think of themselves as the center of the nation. They are the leaders. They are the most important. Everyone serves them. And they don't realize that the fact that they're being given a Maaser is because they don't have their own land. They're there to be Am Yisrael's representatives and Am Yisrael's, and to help Am Yisrael and connect Am Yisrael to Hashem, to connect Am Yisrael to serving Hashem in the correct way. They're there not to serve them, not because they're so important, but rather because they have a special role of connecting Am Yisrael to the Mikdash and to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But so how does the Torah make sure that the Leviim don't forget this? It makes by telling the Leviim that they have to give on. They're not there just Am Yisrael gives everything to the Leviim, and the Leviim are the center of everything, but everything goes through from Am Yisrael to the Leviim, and from the Leviim goes on to the Kohanim. You might ask about the Kohanim. I think also the Kohanim, they're there, they always continue, and they have sacrifices that they actually bring to the Mikdash. And yes, there were, throughout the generations, Kohanim that thought that they were the most important part of Am Yisrael. So, when we read this mitzvah and this idea of Sefer HaChinuch, I think it comes to tell us something very important about our own personal lives. In many situations, we find ourselves in roles in which we are there to help others, to serve others, to uplift others. It can be as parents, it can be as family members, it can be in our jobs, it can be in different situations. We're supposed to do something important. It can be in our volunteer work. It can be in many, many different situations. And sometimes we're so used to what we do that we forget the purpose of why we are there, why we are doing what we are doing. And suddenly we become the center of attention. Everything is there to serve ourselves. Everything is there for me. I want people have to treat me in a certain way. I'm doing things just because it makes me an important person in many, many different situations. It can be in how we connect, how we relate to our children, how we relate to other family members, how we even do chesed. All of these situations are those that there's this danger that we can feel that we are the most important part. And we have to remember this mitzvah, Maaser min HaMa'aser, is there to remind us that we are there just as like a channel to move things on, to get things going, to have the world become a better place, to be there as Avodat Hashem, the Ovdei Hashem, as a nation, and connecting others to it. We have, every person has a role and a purpose within the great collective of Am Yisrael, but not, Khalida, that we should think the opposite, that everyone is there to serve ourselves. Shabbat Shalom.